among his children and giving a portion of it to the poor, he entered upon an excessively different mode of life. Shutting himself up in a small tent beside a river, he spent his days and nights in weeping. In wintertime he plunged up to the throat in the icy waters of the river, and then shivering and benumbed by the cold, he immersed himself in hot water, which caused him such agony that he could not restrain his cries. When questioned as to the reason of his strange conduct, and how he could possibly bear the sudden alternations of extreme heat and extreme cold, he replied, "I have seen worse things than that." "What did you see?" the others asked him. And he replied, "I have seen how the unhappy souls in another world are cast out of a raging fire into icy cold, and from icy cold back into the burning flames. When I realize what they have to endure, I count my slight sufferings as nothing." This story, related by such a holy man as Venerable Bede, shows how terrible indeed are the torments of hell. On the smoke of hell. In this horrible darkness the damned lie helpless as blind men, or as those who have had their eyes cruelly put out. They see nothing, for smoke stings their eyes, and the poisonous fumes of sulfur destroy their sight. We know how dense this smoke is from the account given by St. John in Apocalypse 14:11. "Thou knowest how disagreeable smoke is to the eyes and nostrils. In fact, no one can remain in it for a quarter of an hour without suffocating and being half blinded. If this is so on earth, what will it be like in hell? Even in this life, the pain of fire is the greatest of all pains. But the difference between our fire and that of hell is such that, according to St. Vincent Ferrer, our fire is cold. Our fire is created for our use, but the fire of hell is created by God expressly to torment. So that unhappy wretch will be surrounded by fire like wood in a furnace. He will find an abyss of fire below, an abyss above, an abyss on every side. If he touches, sees, breathes, he breathes only fire. He will be in fire like a fish in water. This fire will not only surround the damned, but it will enter into his bowels to torment him. His body will become all fire, so that the bowels within him will burn. His heart will burn in his bosom, his brains in his head, his blood in his veins, even the marrow in his bones. Each reprobate will in himself become a furnace of fire. Some cannot bear to walk on a road burned up by the sun, nor can they endure a spark that flies from a candle. And yet they fear not that fire which devours. The fire of hell devours the damned. It devours without ever destroying them. In hell there is no hope, neither true nor false. The unhappy wretch will always have written before his eyes his condemnation, to weep forever in that pit of torments. Hence the damned not only suffer what they suffer in each moment, but they suffer in each moment the pain of eternity, saying, "What I now suffer I shall have to suffer forever." The punishments of this life pass, but the punishments of the other life never pass. The punishment of hell will be great, but that which ought most terrify us is that it will be irrevocable. Hell is but little for a mortal sin. An offense against infinite majesty deserves an infinite punishment, says St. Bernardine of Siena. Moreover, this pain must necessarily be eternal, because the damned can no longer satisfy for their sins. In this life, the penitent sinner can satisfy for his sins insofar as the merits of Jesus Christ are applied to him, but the damned soul is excluded from these merits. It is related in the spiritual exercise of Father Sergioni the Younger, that in Rome the devil who dwelt in one obsessed, being asked how long he would have to remain in hell, replied in a rage, beating his hand against a chair, "Forever, forever." So great was the terror thus inspired, that many youths of the Roman seminary, who were there present, made a general confession and changed their lives at this great sermon of 2 words, "Forever, forever." Poor Judas, 2,000 years have elapsed since he has been in hell, and his hell is still only beginning. If an angel were to say to one of the damned, "Thou shalt leave hell," But when as many ages have passed as there are drops of water, leaves on the trees, and grains of sand on the seashore, he would rejoice more than a beggar on hearing that he was made a king. Yes, because all those ages will pass away, even if they be multiplied an infinite number of times, and hell will still only be beginning. Each one of the damned would make this agreement with God. Lord, increase my pains as much as thou wilt. Make it last as long as thou pleaseth. But put a limit to it, and I am content. But no, this limit will never be. The trumpet of divine justice will sound forth in hell nothing but forever, forever. The damned will ask of the devils, what hour of the night is it? When will it end? When will these trumpets, these cries, this stench, these flames, these torments end? And the answer will be, never. And how long will they last?